Happy Easter Eve, everybody. You know, you would think, like, as much as women say they hate you guys and as much as they destroy your lives, you would think that they would not be so obsessed with you. They're always like, I don't need no man, but yet obsessed, right? Ever since I was a kid, it's like every article, every quiz, and every magazine, it's about you guys. Anyway, welcome to Far From Eden. Good to have you here. So just even when I was a little girl, like when you get to be like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, get together, talk about boys, you know? It's so funny. That whole we don't need no man, that's so stupid. We are lying. Why are women crying online like, where have all the men gone? Like, you said you didn't need one. Make up your mind. But I came across a very interesting article. I thought you guys would get a kick out of it. It is 7 must-know signs of an emotionally unavailable man, according to Psychologists. So of course, this is by a woman for other women. And I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't read it yet. She's about to analyze men. I remember Seinfeld back in the day when he did his show, and part of it was his stand-up routine because that was his character in the show. And he was talking about women are always like, on the magazines, where to find men, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, we're right here. We're right here. And anyway, I'm not Seinfeld. It was really funny and it's super obvious. You guys, I don't mean this as an insult. You're simple. You don't actually need much compared to a lot of our chaos and things. I mean, never underestimate a woman's ability to make something complicated, right? And I feel like we do that with you guys. We do that with relationships, and it makes it, complicated and chaotic, and you make stuff that isn't really there, It's like we want to fight. It's like, well, there's nothing really stressful, so let me make something stressful. I don't know. It just seemed like I started to figure that out when I was younger, and I would sort of watch my mom struggle with that. Oh, we haven't had a blow up in a while, so I guess we're gonna have one now. All right, so 7 must-know signs of an emotionally unavailable man, according to Psychologists, by Caitlin Tilley, health reporter for the Daily Mail. So this was in the Daily Mail on January 11th of 2024. Lacking empathy and focusing on your physical relationship are red flags. You know what she means by physical relationship. Okay, I love Better Bachelor. I love all of his euphemisms. And he calls it the snuggle struggle, which is so funny. But yeah, so that's what they mean by the physical. It's all of a sudden they become nuns. Like, oh, I mustn't talk of such things. Emphasizing their alone time is another sign they can't engage emotionally. Men need time alone. It's not about you, woman. It's really not. I had to learn it, because we're way more social creatures, right? And we do tend to assign meaning to things that don't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything personal. And every man is different. Some men need a lot more alone time than others. And I guess it depends on what's going on in their lives. But right here, it's like, oh, he's doing this, it's about me. It's like, maybe it's not about you, sweetie. And get more secrets to a healthier, happier you on our brand new wellness page. Oh, this is just an ad for them. Just mixed into the article. Okay, fine. Mr. Big in Sex and the City, who waits years to tell protagonist Carrie how he feels, is one example. Fictional, but all right, I guess we can use a character from something so that we're all familiar, but still, we're going to use fictional characters. More recently, Jeremy Allen White's role as Carmi Berzatto in Hulu's The Bear has no doubt frustrated fans all over the US with his mysterious, aloof attitude and reluctance to commit to love interest Claire. I'm not familiar with this one, but it's an archetype that's always, it seems to me like it's always been in movies and shows. Like, it's an archetype that I feel like I'm familiar with, but when I think about it, it's not really from real life. It's from movies and stuff like that. So this guy's aloof. But as much as some may pine for this type of unfeeling man, experts go to lengths to warn you off. The strong and silent type. Am I aging myself with that? I remember, I guess I learned it from my mom, talking about the strong silent type. And I remember thinking, yeah, that's my type. You know why? Because the strong silent type seems like he's a thinker, and it seems like he has a plan. And he's not thrown off by things. It seems solid, I like that a lot. Anyway, so that's what the whole strong silent type is about. But, you can't choose that man and then be mad at him because he's the strong silent type. Like, oh, you're mad at him because what? Because he's not goofy? That's not who he is. Anyway, writing in October for Everyday Health, Texas-based counselor Bonnie Scott encouraged potential suitors to step away from emotionally unavailable men. We haven't even been able to define it yet, but stay away. And in a new report published this week, Florida-based psychotherapist and relationship expert Marne Fman echoed similar concerns, warning that these types of partners can make someone with very healthy views of intimacy and closeness feel bad about their needs. God, it's so dramatic. I'm sorry. Now I can hear it the way you guys hear it, and it's just painful. Painful. All right. As well as the warnings, Fman and other psychologists have revealed exactly what you need to watch out for when it comes to spotting emotional incompetence. Oh, now we're incompetent. First we're unavailable, now we're incompetent. Those are two very different things. Incompetent is, that'd be an insult. Okay, mixed signals. Messaging you constantly one day, then ignoring you the next. If a man is blowing you hot, sorry. If a man is blowing hot and cold, chances are he's not in touch with his emotions. Or maybe he was really busy one day and the other day he wasn't. Or maybe you actually did something that he's like, ew. Why? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. We're just looking for things now. We're just looking for ways to find fault. Man, we're good at that. It's awful. Awful. Okay. Inconsistent communication is standard behavior for an emotionally unavailable man. Quote, they can swiftly transition between engagement and aloofness. Dr. Danielle Rofsky, clinical psychologist and relational psychoanalyst, told Hack Spirit. You didn't say who Hack Spirit? Okay. Avoiding deep conversation. When it takes time to warm up to someone and reveal your innermost secrets, in order for things to progress, your partner will need to open up. All right. Men don't do the whole deep conversation thing the same way women do. it's not like a need that they have, that they need to talk about their feelings and all of that. It's, I mean, yes, talk about your history, compare stories, your deep convictions, etc. But like, you know how women do, like we like complain and make ourselves out to be the victim. Like, don't expect him to want to sit there and, you know, have a glass of wine and have a bratty session for 3 hours. That's just not what men do. It's not how they operate. If they avoid deep conversation and talking about their feelings, they probably don't find them easy and will likely avoid them for as long as possible. Or maybe he just is not ready. Or maybe you're not a wife and he's like, that's pretty funny. Sociologist and author Dr. Eliakim Kislev told Psychology Today, one way that emotional unavailability can manifest is through a lack of emotional expressions or difficulty talking about feelings. Won't commit to future plans. Women are always trying to, what I call, seduce men into relationship. They think they can do the dating thing and then they can, you know, snuggle, struggle, and like get the guy to like them enough to finally, you know, propose. And it's a whole like, you know, wheeling them in. And it's on our timetable. It's our goals. It's all of those things. And if he isn't on board at the pace that we are at, I suppose he's emotionally incompetent. There's something the matter with him. This is called demanding relationship. Who's the one? Don't women accuse men of being controlling? I don't know what you call this. A non-committal partner is a walking red flag. Have you told him that's what you're looking for? Or have you been acting like you're for the streets? In the TV series How I Met Your Mother, Barney Stinson's golden rule, which he called the date time continuum, is that you should not make plans with a girl further in the future than you have been dating. If you notice your man, that's another television show. If you notice your man is not willing to commit to any plans in the future, even small ones like weekend and day trips, a few weeks in advance, it could indicate that he is emotionally unavailable. Yeah, I think you need to have a conversation. I think it means that you might be after different things, and you need to say it. Stop expecting to get whatever it is that you want in the time that you want it. Stop expecting that he's going to commit to you like you deserve it. If you don't, are you the type of woman that is worthy of a man committing to you? And what does committing mean? Does it mean swearing off all other women? Because I've got news for you. Most men can't just, sleep with whomever they want. Women have way more option because men are more like, they don't mind so much who they do it with. So it's not this whole idea of like Mr. Big with all the options. Like that man would be like Kevin Samuels type high value man, right? He's like a billionaire. And I guess women found him handsome or something, but it's funny. Like that's your normal average guy. He's not doing that, and he doesn't want to. No matter how many times they try to push Andrew Tate on you, that's not who most men are. They're not over there trying to be gigolos. YouTube is probably going to hate that word. Be like, no monetization for you, no soup for you. That's okay. I did not start this channel for income. I did it because this is an important message. So that's why we're here. Anyway. Oh, Lordy. Oh, yeah. Okay. History of short-term relationships. Have you asked your partner about their relationship history? If not, you might want to. Someone's dating past can tell you a lot about them. Yes, it can, madam. And the reason she probably hasn't is because she doesn't want to say hers. Because, they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. Then why didn't you want to say it? If their longest relationship was a matter of weeks and they have a track record of fleeting hookups, it might give you an idea of your potential future. Dr. Kislev said, a history of short-term or superficial relationships is another potential sign of emotional unavailability. A person who is emotionally unavailable may have a pattern of starting and ending relationships quickly. That's what women do. Have you ever seen the shows like Who Broke It Off? I did. Every single time. Every time. It's always the girl breaking it up. Now, if there's a guy and he has a lot of options, he may just not commit at all to anyone. And if you are getting serious with a guy and you don't know that, you haven't had those conversations, you don't know him well enough to know that, come on, you're just being a 304. Stop acting high and mighty. Like you're all like, oh, I deserve a relationship and when is he gonna commit? Come on. Don't act like a side chick and then be mad that you're a side chick, right? Don't act like all of a sudden you're this nun, you're this like pure, you deserve commitment. It's like, sweetie, you're just behaving. How are you different from a 304? Do you know anything about this guy? Do you know? Have you waited? Have you talked about values? Have you talked about anything? No? Well, don't be mad. Don't be mad when you're like, he's going to be like, commit? What are you talking about? Like, we're not, what are you talking about? We're not serious. It's all in our mind. Oh, these women are crazy. Okay. Carl Rogers, the American psychologist who popularized the idea of empathy in the 20th century, wow, that was late, said that empathy is the ability to understand another person's experience in the world as if you were that person without ever losing the as if sense. Oh yeah, so the heading is a lack of empathy. Yeah, she gets to define what the empathy is and, give them the grade. It's all up to her, you see. She's the judge. Empathy in a relationship would be acknowledging your feelings and opinions even if he disagrees. Now, this is where the fights happen, right? Because you're not validating my feelings. All she means is you're not agreeing with me. And if you're agreeing, then you're not agreeing enough. Like you're just saying, oh yeah, that's bad. Well, you should say more. Like, sometimes they just want to fight. They do. Sometimes they just want to fight. And honestly, they need to be told, no, I'm not playing these word games. I love you. I'm listening to you and I'm here for you, but you're in the wrong here. I know, but we really need to hear it. We need to hear it. We need to hear you guys be stern. I know this is a day late and a dollar short. This is like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, before, we started ripping you apart in family court and stuff. Like, we needed to be told things very sternly. Boundaries are good for us. But, they're not going to listen to me. If you are having a hard time, he can recognize this and will comfort and support you. Again, it's a trap. It's a trap. He'll comfort and support you in exactly the way that you want and need. He'll read your mind. What does it mean, comfort and support? Like, he's not your mommy. And he's not your girlfriend. He's a man. He's not there to be, like touchy-feely, that kind of, otherwise, who would fight off the saber-toothed tiger if you're both like all in your feelings? Like, oh my God. Like, no, we need somebody with their head on straight. And we will have our head on straight much better if we get told, no, knock that off. Overemphasis on independence. How dare he? Oh my gosh. Did she just say it's bad if the guy overemphasizes his independence? Like the women are like, I'm independent, la la la. Pot calling the kettle black. Wow. Another telltale sign of emotional unavailability is an extreme emphasis on independence. Wow. Oh boy. This can mean he does not come to you for emotional support and believes he can handle everything himself. Your partner may also prioritize himself over you. Okay. I don't know. I just can't. Lady, men don't have those emotional things. Not all of them want to come and like let it out or whatever. They don't emote like we do. They don't vent. And honestly, we need to knock that off too. That's a little much. It just makes it worse. It just fuels it, right? It's up to us. We're telling him he's not managing his issues properly and correctly. This can mean he does not come to you for emotional support and believes he can handle everything himself. That's his decision. And did you ever think that maybe if he doesn't come to you, maybe he doesn't feel welcome? It's a very serious issue for a man to trust you. It's very serious. They take it a different way than women do. It's very serious. And when they do that, they start to get more comfortable with you, start to open up and say things, they'll learn that all of that is safe with you, and you will never ever look at them like they're less or anything like that, because you have this unconditional love that they know is always there. And you guys know I'm an equestrian, a horse person. So honestly, it is not an insult to you guys at all, because I love horses. So if I compare you to a horse, it's not an insult. Don't be gross. So it's like when I'm working with, a new horse, and maybe he's had some trauma, or maybe he hasn't been handled a lot. That's the best analogy. Well, I don't go and just like force everything on this horse because he's gonna draw back, right? He'll come to me when he trusts me, when he knows he can trust me, when the horse knows. And horses are very careful with their trust too, because they are prey animals. They are used to like, something's gonna eat me, right? So in a horse brain, if they trust the wrong person, animal, what have you, in their brain, then that threatens their life. So when you earn the trust of a horse, that's something. And it's not that, it's very similar to the trust of a man. And just like the trust of a horse, you lose that trust, gone. You're not getting it back. Because that horse or that man has learned it's not safe. It's not safe. And that's the cost-benefit ratio, risk reward, right? As soon as that risk is there, it's gone. So also, you guys have been through HE double hockey sticks with all of the stories that you have about women and marriage and divorce, or no women, right? So after you've been through that, or you've seen your parents go through that, I'm talking about you guys, the men, you are hesitant, big time hesitant, to the point where most of you are done. You're out. It's over. You're like, I'm done. I'm off the plantation, as you guys call it, and I am not coming back because it is just too much. the risk reward, there's too much risk. It's all risk, no reward for you guys. There's no incentive to go, especially to go and marry. There's no incentive. So you're out, you're done. It's clear as day. It's not complicated. But yeah, so if you happen, if you're a woman and you happen to be dating one that's like still willing to try, he's probably going to be hesitant. And it isn't because he's emotionally incompetent. It's because he's smart and he doesn't trust you yet, and he shouldn't. Yikes. Prioritize himself over you. Well, that's just women all the time because they think they're the star of their own movie. Emotionally unavailable people tend to have an avoidant attachment style and will prefer extreme independence to interdependence. Men are probably always going to seem a little bit like that to women because we are so different. And the things that's the thing I wish I could convince and make women understand, like the things that men are different than us, like those characteristics that are different from women, it's not a fault. It's not something that's wrong with them, right? It's different. Just like I was gonna say, like some of our things that are different from men are not flaws. A little bit. We need to calm down. The physical connection is everything to him. While it is great to have a physical connection with someone, a relationship needs a strong emotional connection for it to last. No, that's not what it needs to last. It needs commitment, decision, fortitude, patience to last. Emotional, no. Typically emotionally unavailable people will be eager for the physical side of things while avoiding the emotional elements. They may prefer casual snuggle struggle or superficial relationships. Dr. Hislop said, well, you can't do the casual by yourself. So if he's having casual snuggle struggle and you're having that too at the same time with him, then you are too. If you're like, hi, we met yesterday or we met today or last week, like, don't be mad that it's casual to him. What do you think? Think you're getting married? Think you're Romeo and Juliet? Stop it. What a joke. Also, we women don't understand what the snuggle struggle is with you guys. Because for you guys to have that with an intimate partner that you love is crucial, to know that that need is fulfilled lovingly, willingly, joyfully given. I know you guys are rolling your eyes, but it's true. Like, ideally, that's what we want in a marriage. To know that that's there, that is emotional for them. We need to stop defining what it is for them. Ridiculous. But anyway, I knew that was going to be entertaining. It did not disappoint. So happy Easter Eve. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know why yesterday I thought today was Easter and I was like, oh no, I skipped a day. So yeah, I wanted to point this out. I forgot last night. So that is, I just got that. That's a Norman Rockwell Freedom from Want. And it's like grandparents feeding. It looks like a Thanksgiving dinner or something like that, and I liked it. It's below the picture of my mom and a little Western saddle thing, and then that is Freedom from Fear, and it's little kids in bed sleeping, and there's the wife, and there's the father, the dad, and I just love it's man, woman, children. It's beautiful. I know Norman Rockwell went kind of woke towards the end, but it doesn't mean that those aren't great. I got to thinking about Norman Rockwell because I used to have one years ago, and I really enjoy him. So those really seem to fit a lot of kind of what we talk about, what the ideal was. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys tomorrow, and it'll be Easter, so it'll be nice, and I'm hanging out with you guys. That's my plans. You guys are my plans. So I want you guys to take care, do something that feeds your soul, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.